I'm an investigative journalist, and last week I published an article about a U.S. Army veteran who has spent the last 3 months in immigration detention, and this story blew up. So let's talk about it. Godfrey Wade came to the U.S. from Jamaica when he was 15 years old, and a few years later, he signed up to enlist with the U.S. Army. He served for 8 years before being honorably discharged, and he did serve overseas and got some medals and honors as well. He went on to build a life here in the United States, having 6 children. He has 3 grandchildren. He's received multiple collegiate degrees and received benefits from the VA. But he never officially became a U.S. citizen, and if you're wondering, no, serving in the U.S. military doesn't automatically make you a citizen, and you don't have to be a citizen to enlist. Back in September of this year, he was pulled over by police in Conyers, Georgia for not using a turn signal. Police officers realized that he did not have a valid driver's license, and they brought him into custody, and that's how he ended up in the custody of ICE. He was transferred to Stewart Detention Center in Lumpkin County, Georgia, and he's been there ever since. He says that facility is so overcrowded, he's had to sleep on the floor. He says there's 80 people in his pod and only 2 working urinals. Now, Core Civic, the company that runs Stewart Detention Center, says that those allegations are false, but when I asked ICE if we could go see for ourselves, they denied that request. So why is Godfrey Wade's U.S. Army service not being taken into account here? In 2022, the Biden administration ordered ICE to take into account someone's military service when making a decision about whether or not to deport them. It allowed ICE to make exemptions for people who have served and don't have any serious violent criminal history. But I got a copy of a new memo issued in April under President Trump to ICE that essentially rolled back a lot of those protections. It does uphold some protections for active duty members, but explicitly states that an honorable discharge will not prevent someone from being deported. Earlier this year, 60 Democratic members of Congress wrote to the federal government and said, look, we want a list of every single veteran who has been detained or deported in 2025. Here we are in December, and that list has still never been provided. And as of right now, this 65-year-old grandfather and U.S. Army vet is set to be deported.